Hi folks, my name is Josef Schritt. You all have probably heard a lot about value selling, which aligns very closely with a common goal that we all have in sales, which is closing deals and closing them fast. Value selling may help you accomplish that. By the end of this video, you will know the importance of identifying what business objectives a customer is focused on and how that impacts the bigger picture of their business. Uncovering the customer's buying process, what roles will be involved in that, as well as focusing your customer's attention on the key differentiators of your offering. You all have noticed how changes in the economy have influenced changes in buying behavior. In the past, customers were a lot more free in spending their money, and this came as a result of a sense of exuberance in the economy. Now, since businesses have tightened, there's a lot more scrutiny around the perceived value and the price. When customers primarily focus on the price, it comes as a result of narrowly defined specific buying needs. You'll commonly also see customers with this perspective leading with a perception that what you're selling is a commodity. That can be another key identifying factor for you. Pivoting your customer's perspective to the bigger picture will create a sense of urgency and allow you to refocus them to see the bigger value drivers and not just the price. As we all in sales know, customers go through predictable steps in their buying behavior. When selling value, it is important to understand where in the buying process your customer currently is, who the internal decision makers are, how they will influence the deal, and when. It is prudent to assume that there are decision makers or influencers that are impacting the final outcome of your deal who you are not currently engaged with. Let's take a quick look at the deal influencer quadrant, which explains how to interact with different levels of influencers based on their interest and power. What you see in the quadrant is your stakeholders mapped out based on their level of interest and influence, all their needs are met. Notice you always want to work on increasing the level of interest of your stakeholders. Making contact with as many decision makers as possible can be game-changing. Consider how your customer's buying process aligns with your selling process and make sure that your messaging is appropriate to each particular stage. Here's a typical example of a customer's buying process. Once you have an understanding of where your customer is in the buying process, adjust your message accordingly. What you say to a customer who is still trying to figure out whether their need is big enough to get out of the current status quo is very different to what you say to a customer who is already comparing vendors against a defined buying criteria. Value selling only occurs when the customer is focused on something other than price. Become adept at knowing what specific capabilities of our solutions deliver the most compelling differentiators. Give your customer the opportunity to share what they found appealing about competitors' solutions. This gives you the opportunity to see what is important to them, what they value the most, and how it can be addressed with our solutions. Do know your competitors' offerings so that you can emphasize our unique advantages to counteract potential customer objections. To summarize, the top 4 value selling skills are: 1. Make sure your customer sees and appreciates the bigger picture. 2. Understand the customer's buying process and the impact of various decision makers. 3. Adjust your message based on what step in the buying process your customer is in. And 4. Know what specific features present the most compelling differentiators of your solution. I hope you'll find this useful in your selling journey.